Hello and welcome to our channel. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Stephanie.
And together we clean homes for free.
In today's video, we have a little surprise. We are actually cleaning with somebody else. So Charlene joined us on this video, and if I remember, I will tag her, is it Instagram? I think TikTok.
I think she's got both.
Okay, I will try and tag her socials in the comments. So Charlene was working for us, employed in our cleaning business. That is no longer happening. However, that's a story for another day. Or if we have time, we'll maybe get into it later. But yeah, so she's cleaning with us. So there's 3 of us. So I didn't just get really fit and healthy and look great. That is Charlene cleaning with Danielle in the kitchen. And yes, you can start telling us what you do.
Well, before that, I've actually been really looking forward to when we took Charlene on. She said about wanting to come and do one of these cleans with us. And I actually done Charlene's training, and I didn't even have to give her any direction or anything. She just cleaned great, like really good standard, really efficient. So I was really looking forward for her to come on a cleaning. It was great. Obviously, there was like that when me and Steph first started, you're trying to like work out how to flow with each other. It wasn't that bad, and we kind of just got on with it. But yeah, it was really good, and it just, even adding that extra person, got so much more stuff done as well.
Yeah, and the resident was really surprised and happy about how much we got done.
So the residents' priority place, they said, was the kitchen. So that's when me and Charlene started, and obviously, as you can see here, we just started picking up all the rubbish and trying to gather the food that was like savable, and then just kind of took it for there. I don't even feel like we had to actually communicate that much about who was doing what and who was going to do what next. We just kind of worked around each other.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually said to you after this, I was like, it was absolutely brilliant having Charlene there, but don't replace me. But no, so we only had the 2 like tripods. So you had both of them in the kitchen because we weren't sure what the best angle would be for this. So while Charlene and Danielle are in the kitchen, there's me in the corner. I was clearing out the hallway, as well as, so the thing about this apartment is it is more than 10 stories high, or 10 floors high. We don't want to say like exactly how high because there really aren't that many places in Fife, so we don't want to give the location away. But yeah, it was really high up, and so we weren't able to like carry the rubbish outside or anything like that, so we had to store it in the house. So what I was doing was clearing out organising slightly one of the rooms that we could put all of the rubbish in for it to then be collected. And we'll kind of tell you a bit more about the rubbish collection a bit later on. So yeah, so I was just doing the hallway and that bedroom while you guys were in the kitchen. And then once I'd finished that, I moved on to the living room, which you guys will get to see that because that was recorded. But yeah, so you said that you and Charlene didn't really discuss how to break up the tasks.
We just kind of got on with it. When she was cleaning one bit, I was cleaning another bit. I think it was an acknowledged communication where you just done your own thing. You know what needs done, you both take a bit, you do it, you work around each other. And
so Charlene washed a lot of dishes. And I said to her, I was like, I'm so sorry, but we are just so done. Like, this was afterwards. It wasn't intentional that we made her do the dishes. But afterwards, I was like, I'm so sorry that you did all those dishes. We are just so done with dishes. You know, a lot of the time we don't actually even have time to get to them now. We just kind of put them to the side and do as much as we can everywhere else. If we have time, we'll go back to them. But she says, no, it actually kind of just naturally gravitated towards them. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was like, it's not that you're the newbie and we're giving you the horrible jobs. But no, she just naturally went towards them.
I think like when we first started doing it, naturally, when you go into a kitchen and you're going to start cleaning, I think most people go to the dishes first and clean the space for the sink, so you have a sink to go through before you clean everything else. Whereas because we've done that so many times and we know how time consuming it is, and we just don't like it anymore, we try and do everything else. And then we go to the dishes. So
I wouldn't have actually have come to that conclusion because in my own house I don't do that.
Right, okay.
So I stack the dishes, because normally they're just laid all over the bunkers because everybody in my house is a heathen. But so I just stack the dishes.
I don't know what the word heathen means.
I don't know, it just felt right. Okay. Like, do you know when you know
the word, but
you know the context of a word? You just don't know. It's a derogatory term, I'm pretty sure. But I love my family, so I'm allowed to call them names. But yeah, I just kind of stack the dishes and then clear everywhere else, and then I might come back to them, but often they just pile up or they go in the dishwasher if they fit.
I'm opposite. I do all my dishes first. Mm-hmm. Then I fill up a basin of soapy water and then I clean everything.
So that's the difference, though, is you actually clean everything. Like, I never get... So in Beth Farrell Chadwick's video today, she was talking about how she did a lot, but she never actually got to the finish line.
Yeah.
Wait, did you watch it?
No, I just feel like that when I try to tidy my
own house. Okay. So that's how I feel. I never get to the finish line, whereas I feel like you at least get close. Yeah.
Or I get to beyond most people's finish line, but not mine.
Yeah. So that's the difference between us, is you're okay starting with the dishes because you know you'll then get everything else done. Whereas if I spend 20 minutes doing dishes, then that's me. I'm not going to do anything else. And the house, the dishes will be done, but everywhere else is still messy. So it's not as big of a visual impact. So that's kind of where we differ. As usual, we've been looking at each other while we chat and not actually looking at the video. Also, just so you guys know, we are in my kitchen today. But my door is in the other room, so if you hear her barging into the room, I'm not going to be editing that out. It's just going to happen. So be prepared.
Right, I'm getting there first.
Oh no, you always get there first.
Best bit about the clean.
I actually quite liked clearing out the rubbish from the living room.
Okay.
And actually, I wanted to ask everybody, but I was going to wait until we got to it, how long they think it took me to do, because it was way quicker than I was thinking it was going to take. And, after I'd done it, I was like, oh, that really didn't take as long as I thought.
Well, hang in there, keep watching, and you can guess when we get to that part.
Yeah. There's a couple of guesses in this as well, because...
Sorry.
Danielle's dying as usual. I was wondering, actually, do you think going into these houses is where you're picking up all these
probably,
bugs
but
and
do you know what? See, by the time that we finish this, if we ever finish it, but my immune system is going to be so strong. Mm-hmm. I'm on this healthy eat thing. I'm taking all these vitamins, and
I don't know. I think
we started the gym, and then within 2 days I got unwell.
Yeah.
Mind when you're like, is there not anything to wipe? There's not like spray with cloths or anything that you'd find in the gym to wipe the equipment down. So I'm like, I probably caught it in the gym. People sweating and all their bugs and touching stuff.
But then I don't know, because you were ill last weekend before we went to the gym. Do you not remember?
No.
Did we not go live? Oh no, that was the week before. You're just always ill. It's hard to pinpoint where you get it from.
I just don't think I ever give myself enough time to recover. Like, obviously I was out yesterday. I probably shouldn't have been out yesterday. I've just started feeling better, and I'm like, right, okay, I'm up, I can get dressed, I'm going out, I'm going to do stuff. I don't recover fully before, so I just don't think I'm ever fully recovered from being ill.
Well, hopefully, the fitter we get and we take vitamins and all this stuff. Yeah. And also we have this theory, that I don't get ill as often because I'm just a carrier, so I'm just giving everybody these bugs.
It's fine, I can cope with them. Keep giving me them.
Every time I say to Pete, so that's my husband, guys, every time I say to him, or Danielle's not well, he's always like, oh, hope she doesn't give it to us, because even though I don't get it, everybody else in my house does. So you just come here and pass your bugs around.
So what was the least favourite part?
Okay, so I cut it out of the video so you won't actually see it, but when I go to do the bathroom, so basically Danielle and Charlene do the kitchen, and while they're doing that, I do the hallway in the bedroom, and then I clear the rubbish out the living room, and then they finish up the kitchen, and then they move into the living room and start cleaning it, and while they're doing that, I do the bathroom. But there was an open bag of rubbish in the kitchen that I took through to the bathroom to start putting the rubbish from the bathroom into it, and it started leaking yucky stuff everywhere. That was my least favourite part, because then we had to rebag it and clean it up, and it was just more work, and we just are having bad luck with those bags right now.
Well, yeah, it was the same. So me and Charlene opened that roll of bin bags in this clean, and I think about 3 bin bags burst at the bottom when we went to go and lift them up, and all the rubbish would just fall right out.
So bad batch, that roll.
Yeah, we used the same bags because we were at a clean today, so we used the same bags today, and the same thing happened to Steph. So
yeah, and we'll talk about that more in the next video. But yeah, it's definitely a faulty batch. But the bags, I do like the bags we use, and they're eco-friendly. Although I've never actually looked into how they are eco-friendly. I think they're made from recycled plastic, or maybe they degrade better. I don't know. It says they're eco-friendly. I'm taking the word for it. I noticed that in this one, you kind of do what you usually do and flip from here to there, and you wipe down top to bottom, all that kind of stuff. Whereas Charlene's going in like deeper. So she's kind of, that was a good thing about having a third person, is she was getting to do the tasks we don't often get to. Yeah.
And she organised a few, so the cupboards, which usually they're not like this, which I really liked about this house, was they were kind of semi-organised. Everything, when you opened a cupboard, you kind of knew the general what belonged in that cupboard. So she just gave it a wee bit more of an organisation, so it just looked more pleasing to the eye, and wiped stuff down and found places for stuff.
Which you don't get to see much of that. You don't get to see much of that on camera, because you girls were sharing a camera.
Yeah, I think, do you know what, that was probably my least favourite part.
Oh yeah, I haven't even asked you.
Sharing the camera and trying to remember, right, okay, the camera's on her. And then there was like a few bits that I'm like, oh, I should have took camera and filmed that. But we got the main bits, that's all that matters.
So what was your favourite part then?
The oven.
Oh yeah.
And working out.
I loved watching
how
you do
the
that.
glass comes. So usually it's like you unscrew it or there's something, but this one it was like you pushed a wee button at the side.
Oh, that
and
sounds
then
fancy.
Like slid. It took me ages to work out. Like I went to it and I was like, I don't know how to do this. So I started cleaning it, and then I was like, no, like I must, because when I cleaned the front of it, it still looked dirty because the dirt from the inside of the glass. And I was like, right, okay, I need to work this out.
So, and did you tell the resident, in case they're not aware of how to do it? Because that could have been a useful bit of information to pass on.
No, I didn't, but I can still do that.
Yeah. We should probably... Okay, so a little bit about the resident, now that we've kind of...
I've not said my least favourite part.
You did say your least favourite part.
Oh, so I did.
And now I forgot... Oh, sharing the camera. Yeah, you started with your least
but
favourite.
I actually have a least favourite part. But it wasn't the clean. This bit never got filmed. Do you know what it is?
Was it the elevator?
Yeah.
So this was the house that I found out that Danielle is afraid of elevators.
And I think it's my mum's fault. I think that was a bred fear.
Is she afraid of
She's
elevators?
afraid of, yeah. And I never used to be. Now I am. I just don't like them.
Do you not
it's
find...
the feeling and when they like move slightly and you feel like you're on a bungee rope. Yeah.
Do you not find, right, that as we get older, our fears become more like...
We get more fears.
Not so much more fears, but like the fears that we have become like more... intensified, heightened. Because I find that... I'm trying to think of an example. Probably my fear of heights. And spiders, actually. Spiders has definitely gotten worse as I've gotten older, because I wasn't even afraid of them as a child. I don't know when that fear actually started. Maybe when I was living alone with 2 young children as an adult, and they'd bring you creepy crawlies, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this?
Do you think it's when, like, you're younger, you don't have that much care and you're more, like, free spirited? Whereas, like, when you're older, like, you've got more to think about, like... This is going to be more morbid, but like you think more about death, and do you mean at what point in your life are you going to die, and do you mean you've got more to fear because you're more aware of your mortality, really.
That's probably exactly it. Yeah.
Look at me, and I'm not even doing the psychology degree.
You know, when I'm in class and I'm learning stuff, right, I'm like, oh my God, this is great, this is so fascinating. And I can have a conversation and like random bits of knowledge from the classes will pop up. But in general, my memory is terrible. Like, I feel like I study to pass the exams, but I don't retain the information enough to recall it off the top of my head. But I do know it. It is ingrained, and I know the information.
Do you know, I feel like with any kind of education, you don't really learn it until you put it into practice.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like, are just learning to pass that exam, and then once you pass that exam, you put it into practice, and then that's when you actually truly pick things up.
And I only really retain the stuff that I'm actually interested in as well. So like some of the classes, I'm just like, okay, I just need to memorize this.
Yeah.
But there's like a whole thing about like short-term memory, working memory, long-term memory, and you know when you have like an idea and you've got like it just you can't fully form the idea, but it's there, right? There's got to be another type of memory, okay? Because short-term memory is technically only like, you can only remember like 7 things, and it's only for like on average, and it's only for like a very, very short amount of time, right? And then obviously you've got the long-term memory, and then everyone always goes on about, you know, it's in your long-term memory. You just need to be able to recall it. And I'm like, but I'm telling you.
How do you recall it?
Well, that's a whole other thing. But what I mean, right, is...
I need to know that.
I don't know if they picked up on your whispering there.
I said I need to know that.
But yeah, but I just think there's got to be another explanation for memory. Because I've got information that I can recall, but I can recall it for longer than what short-term memory kind of says you can, but not for as long as that it is in my long-term memory. And they kind of try and explain it like, oh, if you've not rehearsed it or you've not actively recalled it, then you're not remembering it. And then the other thing that I find really interesting about memory is that every time you recall something and you bring it into what's called your working memory, you can then change that memory, and then it goes back into your long-term memory. So when you're like 80, 90 and you're recalling something that happens in your 20s, if it's something that you've thought about throughout the years, every time you're thinking about it, you're changing that memory very slightly, so that by the time you're 90, it's that memory is not even
what happened.
Yeah. So
food for thought.
I really love learning about memory, and I'm just like, there's just something that's not fully explained there, in my opinion.
Look at that. So shiny.
This was my when I was editing the footage, this was my favourite thing to watch, was you doing the cooker. So do you remember in the very first like extreme clean house that we did, the one that had all the tin cans and the icicles of grease, we got a lot of questions about how the icicles of grease could have formed on that oven. So this part that you're cleaning just now, like for the viewers, that part is what we call here a grill, like the top part, so
or top oven.
Yeah, but usually when you cook with that, you have to have that door down to cook when you're using the grill.
Some of them have like a latch, so it's like half shut, but it doesn't shut fully. Yeah,
so basically when you're cooking with this section, you leave the door open, whether that's slightly or fully. And so what happened in that house with those grease icicles is, I think she was cooking like a lot of really fatty foods like bacon, and because it was left open, it's just trickling out, trickles down, and that's how that formed. Because people were like, how is that even possible? And I was like, well, I don't know for a fact, but that's my reasoning.
Fatsicles,
yeah. I like that.
So yeah, you were going to tell us a wee bit about the resident, and I
butted in. This is the thing, I get sidetracked. Okay, so the resident, and we apologise in advance if we say anything that is politically incorrect or we don't phrase something correctly. It is pure ignorance, but feel free to educate us. But I think we've got this correct. So this woman was born a man, identifies as a woman, and is currently going through the transition. Did I say that all?
Yeah.
Yep. That's basically her story. So we were contacted by a support agency who has been working with us, so we can refer people to them. If they have anybody in their jurisdiction, refer them to us. And they referred this woman to us, and then we actually arranged to go there, was it just before Christmas? But then we had to cancel because I wasn't allowed to do any solo cleans, and that was the week that you threw out your back. I say threw out your back, that sounds dramatic. Your back was bad that week, so you couldn't do any heavy lifting.
Sorry.
Die on your own time, okay?
It's
this is the viewer's time right now.
It's a tickly cough, so even if I try to keep it in, it's
just gonna
trickle eat away at me.
So yeah, and I think she's had a lot of difficulties with like facing
who
like
she is as a person.
Yeah. So what would that be? Like identity crisis?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. And so that's, and then as well, we found out when we were at the house, she's had a loss a couple of years ago, and I don't think she's fully dealt with that. So a combination of grief and the difficulties of figuring out her identity and then taking that step towards the transition and things like that have all kind of led to this accumulation. And we can kind of tell, you know, that it was mainly just rubbish. Like the house wasn't that dirty, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like there wasn't like loads of rotten food, or there was no bugs or rodents, but I don't know if that's just because of how, do you know, I thought you just picked up my clean washing to come into there, but you didn't. Sorry, I'm totally sidetracked again. You're a distraction.
I can't help it.
So yeah, guys, now that this is me obviously wearing full PPE. Those two get to look like awesome in their leggings with their cute butt shots, and here's me looking like a minion.
She was trying to fight us on it as well. She's like, do I have to? I'm like, yes, you do.
Well, I was going to wear the mask, but I was like, do I have to wear the suit? And then because I was wading through rubbish, we just decided, yes, I would wear the suit. And I know I have to for my own health, but do you know, when you're there, it doesn't put me off doing the cleans, but it kind of brings it down a little bit for me because it's not comfortable. Like I'm wearing the mask so that I don't trigger an allergy attack with my asthma, but wearing the mask makes me feel claustrophobic and dizzy because of my asthma. So it's kind of a catch-22, but I'm not wanting to stop what I'm doing.
It's the least of two evils, is that the right saying?
Yeah. And I got a lot of comments on the video where I nearly died saying, oh, maybe this isn't for you and stuff, but I enjoy doing it. I'm making a difference in the world, and as long as I'm taking safety precautions, I'll be fine, you know. But anyway, so this is me doing the rubbish. How long do you guys think that this actually took to pick up all the rubbish? And the only part I didn't really get to was, so like say where that orange bag is, kind of behind there, I didn't really get that little section. I kind of did what I did, and then I was like, I'm done with this living room now. I want to go and clean something. So put your guesses in the comments, and then I'll maybe tell you in like a few minutes anyway. So you guys were still doing the kitchen at this point.
Yeah, do you know what? You started doing this, and then I went away and I cleaned something, and every time I looked back, I was like, oh wow. Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah. And then, so we stopped for lunch after I picked up the rubbish in the living room, which, by the way, it took less than an hour. It took me like 50 minutes to pick up all that rubbish. It was mental.
People were meant to guess in the comments.
Yeah, but we still have to tell, so they can guess in the comments, and then we give them the answer. What, were you going to wait till the next video? Because I would have forgotten to give them the answer.
Replied in the comments.
I didn't think of
Maybe
that.
whoever got closest, we could have gifted them a membership.
But we can't do that.
How do we not?
Because you can't gift specific memberships.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem.
Well, YouTube need to sort that out.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do that.
But then you would just give them all to your friends and family.
Loyal viewers.
True. Anyway, so we stopped for lunch at that point, and then when we came back in, they finished the kitchen, because I kind of reordered the video a little bit, and then Danielle came in here with Charlene. Danielle kind of focused on the sofa area and the windowsill and the TV unit, and Charlene really went to town on the desk. So you don't really see much of Charlene doing the desk because of the whole one camera issue, but you do get to see very satisfying before and after photos. And if you do check out Charlene's socials, that is hard to say.
Charlene's socials.
Yeah, it's with, I think her name is like
socials.
Charlene and Clean, which is really like catchy. But anyway, if you check out her socials, I think you will get to see the before and after photos there as well. Well, you get to see a wee bit of her doing it, but by this point she's already done quite a lot. Yeah. And then anyway, you can kind of talk about, because you were,
have to.
yeah,
And to cough.
well, cough quick. So you were kind of overwhelmed in the living room.
It was more our usual problem. She had a lot of stuff and not a lot of places to put stuff. So it was just trying to organise the stuff that she did have a little bit better and finding a place for them. And there was a lot of clothes that she'd obviously been trying to work out what she liked and what she didn't. So I had to just fold up a lot of stuff. But my main focus in the living room, I'm actually very disappointed we didn't get more of the living room done. But it was to try and give her a space on the couch that was just like a nice cosy corner, which we managed to do. So, and she was very happy when she came back and looked at it. So yeah. But
because she said when she came back, so I don't know, a lot of you might know that I started journaling, right? And so every day I have to write down like a highlight of the day, and my highlight of this day was the residents' reaction. I don't think we've ever stuck around long enough to see this type of reaction, because she actually came back a little bit early, because obviously she left while we were doing this. She came back a little bit early and she was just like amazed at how much we'd done, because obviously we had an extra person. And she was like, oh my God, I have a sofa. I haven't had the TV on in months because I've had nowhere to sit to watch it. She walked into the kitchen. She was just like, oh my God. I was like, you can make yourself a cup of tea in your nice clean kitchen. Have a seat while we finish up. And she was just so grateful as well. She was, look at the wipe on that. It's so satisfying.
she was very like speechless but emotional at the same time. So that like overwhelming.
Tell them about the hobby thing.
The painting.
What she said about that.
So she paints figurines, but she hasn't been able to really get to it in a while, and she was like, it's just something I've not got to in a while. She's like, it's probably space, to be honest, because there wasn't really anywhere for her to sit and do it anymore. So I'm hoping that she'll now be able to go back to that and do that, because there was a lot of different ones, and she was very, very talented as well. And
you basically turned her kitchen table into a crafting table for her.
Yeah.
Which I thought was
because it looked
really
like
good.
it'd already kind of been that before. So I just kind of kept that stuff that was there and took everything else away. So
Okay, so we're kind of nearing, I want to say we're nearing the end actually, but it's still probably about 12 minutes. But this was, so while they were doing the living room, also just before I talk about the bathroom, when we were doing the living room, so obviously we were gifted 2 vacuum cleaners by I honestly can't remember the names, and I'm so sorry, but we are grateful, I promise. I'm just really bad with names. We were gifted 2 vacuum cleaners, and as you know, in the house that we did when we said we were really angry, we gifted the vacuum cleaner that we had with us to the gentleman living in that house. And so we opened the second vacuum cleaner for this house, because once I cleared that carpet, it was in really good condition. We were looking forward to vacuuming it. When we opened the vacuum cleaner, there was a part missing, and so we can't actually it still works, but we only have the hose. We can't connect the, what is the end bit
that's
called?
what I was just trying to think.
Does anybody know what the end bit of a Hoover is called? Well, a vacuum, sorry. The bit, the long bit, the long sideways bit, we can't connect that to the hose because there was a piece missing, and we don't actually know how to go about rectifying that, because obviously we didn't buy it, but we can probably look up online and find the part
and buy the part. That's what I was thinking about earlier
but
on.
the box is in a whole other language, so also how are we going to do that? And we don't even know what the part is called, but we'll figure it out.
I'll do it, because I've had to do this a few times with a few different things.
So one thing about this bathroom was, by the time I got into the bathroom to clean it, you guys had used all of the hot water in the kitchen.
It was like a water heater, so you have to wait for the water to heat up. It wasn't like a combi.
So we've been gifting quite a lot of Scrub Daddy sponges, and so far every house we've been into there hasn't been hot water when I've gone to use one of these sponges, which I don't know, if you don't use the sponges, you might not be aware of this, but you need hot water to soften the Scrub Daddy sponge, otherwise it's literally a brick, which is really interesting. So I did what I could on this sink with the Scrub Daddy sponge. And then I was like, no, I hate this. I need something that's more pliable. So I just got my little old dish sponge out. Obviously, I don't use it on dishes. We have a whole pack of these. And then afterwards, I was really struggling to get like the actual inside of the basin clean. So I thought, well, I'll just try the Scrub Daddy again. And I get the inside more clean. But really trying to do the taps and stuff with the rock solid Scrub Daddy is impossible.
It's just not flexible enough to get round those bends and curves.
The house we were at today was the first time I've actually managed to use a Scrub Daddy with hot water, and I was so surprised at how like soft and squidgy it actually gets. I was like, oh my god, this is great. But yeah, you can kind of see the dirt, like the camera picks it up quite well, the dirt on that sink. But yeah, the Scrub Daddy makes like very easy work of it. That combined with the oh my god, why has it gone out of my head? The Domestos Power Foam, which we got a comment about this, by the way. The Domestos Power Foam cleaner does not contain bleach. Just for anybody that was wondering about that. It smells amazing, it doesn't contain bleach, and it cleans really well, so we would highly recommend it. And Domestos, please sponsor us, because we love, that's our favourite cleaner. So yeah, sponsor us. In this bathroom as well, I cut out quite a lot of the footage because I don't know, I feel like by the time I got to this point, I was like not really checking my camera angles very well. And so when I'm doing the bath especially, it's just like my big white butt or arm.
I just feel like in bathrooms,
it's so tight.
Yeah, it's really hard to get a good angle with a tripod, and we've never had a big enough bathroom, a spacious enough bathroom that's gave us the
and
luxury.
That's never going to happen. Like, you know, we live in the UK.
You never know.
You're just imagining like the house that we will eventually have ourselves, aren't you?
So yeah, try to get the good camera angles in the bathroom. That's probably the one thing I dislike most about a bathroom, and the sides of the toilet.
Oh yeah, I cut that out because you don't see me. Yeah. Like, I do clean it, you just don't get to see it because of the angles, but you get to see the good stuff. So you get to see the sink, and wait till you see the bath. Look at that. So first of all, I went in there and I tried to pick out the hair, but it was all rock solid. So then I wet it with the shower and it softens it up, and then I'm able to like scrape it away.
When we went into this house and we walked around, Steph went into the bathroom first, and she was like, I'm doing the bathroom. She called it before anybody else even had a chance.
I think Charlene was a little disappointed because she walked in and she was like, oh my god, that looks amazing. She was so excited to do this. But yeah, look at how easy that came off now. That's just my hand to get the hair. And also the dust in this one is also kind of blue. And so we were in that last house where we were like, it's not dust, it's paint pigment. We're now thinking maybe it just looks blue in bathrooms, the way the dust settles, or they maybe both the residents use similar hair products. We couldn't figure it out, but either way the dust looks blue, and I don't know if it's just my eyes, or does it look blue through the camera? Slightly, yeah, but it looked a lot more blue in person. And also, I probably get comments about the fact that I wear my watch. I do actually clean the watch after every clean. I have a thing about being able to check the time at all times, and I always wear my watch. I really like it too. What? You wearing a watch? So that I can tell you the time. I'm like, what time is it now, Steph? What time is it now? The clean that we were doing today, she was kind of really fed up, and she was like, what time is it? I was like, it's 1:45. And then literally like 10 minutes later, what time is it? I was like, it's 1:55. Like, it was just 10 minutes later. It was funny because I used the shower to rinse the bath, but I'm so small I couldn't reach to put it back again, and I can't in my own house either. My husband always gets on at me for leaving like the shower attachment on the floor of the bath after I wash my hair, but it's because I physically can't reach the thing to put it back. I can only get it out because you can kind of push the hose up to unclip it, But it's impossible to do it in the reverse.
One that can come like down.
Yeah,
the bit
but
that holds it.
I can't reach it enough to.
So just get Pete to bring it down for you, and then when he wants to go in the shower and use it, he can put it up.
But it's kind of at the right level for the kids and stuff, so it doesn't work. But yeah, so Danielle came in and she was like, "Oh, are you too small?" I was like, "Yeah, I am. Shut up." There's a saying. What is it? It's to do with something about short girls.
Tempers.
No. Oh, I wish I could remember it. It's a positive thing about being short anyway. Good things come in small packages, I guess. That's not it, but you get the idea. So we forgot to bring like scrubbing brush for the toilet. There was one here. I don't really like using the residence ones because it's kind of gross, but I did have to use it in this one, but I don't know if you guys get to see me doing that. I don't remember. But the toilet needs a lot of work, more than what I could have given, like the inside of the toilet, I mean, more than what I could have given it today. Also, just as you've seen me struggle to get down on my knees there, this was the Sunday after I did the workout on the Thursday, and I was still struggling on this day. And like when I found out that this flat was like up so many flights of stairs, I was like, please let there be a lift, please. I'm not walking up like 10 plus flights of stairs. But yeah, by the end of this day I was struggling. Oh, here comes my daughter, I think.
Sorry, Pete's got her.
Oh, is Pete home?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Did you not hear him coming?
No. No, I didn't. I'm too self-absorbed. I really quite liked doing the underside of this seat because it was really dirty. And it's so satisfying.
No one ever.
It's just so satisfying. And you know, I don't know what it is. Gross toilets just don't gross me out that much. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I just don't like doing that rim.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that part of a toilet. But that actually wouldn't come off anyway. I did my best.
While I remember, do you remember I got those ones that the toilet brushes that attach to the wall, and they're just like a wee thin
silicone?
I don't recommend.
All right, okay.
Yeah, just they've not got enough. You can't give it enough force. I mean, they're good if you use it all the time and there's nothing like stuck on there. But if there's something that's needing a good scrub, they're not that great. Yeah,
just always scrub side to side and not up and down when scrubbing a toilet.
Why is that?
Because if you're scrubbing up and down, the bristles are going up and down and spraying back up at you.
All right, okay.
But if you scrub side to side, then it's just spraying sideways.
Makes sense.
And I'm pretty sure as I said that, I was scrubbing up and down.
My daughter, Olivia, she likes to play with the toilet brushes in the toilet. Oh. She cleans the toilet.
Oh, you're starting her early. I wouldn't let her do that.
I don't let her. Half the time I walk past the bathroom and she's there like cleaning the toilet. She's obsessed.
She's definitely your daughter then. Yeah. Like just getting into the cleaning really early.
She likes to stand up on the a stool as well and just turn the tap on the sink.
I just remembered, we're nearly at the end of the video. Okay, so trash converters, big thank you again. They came and removed the rubbish. And so I had messaged Callum and I was like, are you ready for your first challenge of 2025? Do you accept? And then I sent him a picture of all the bags of rubbish, and you'll get to see the picture at the end. And he was like, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. And I was like, that's not the challenge. The challenge is that it is X amount of stories high and there's only a tiny elevator. And also, oh no, I can't say that bit actually about the elevator.
Yeah, no, don't.
Yeah, that would give away location. But and he was like, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. And I thought it was going to take him hours. And I was going to get you to guess, but the video's about to end. So it only took him 45 minutes. And it really didn't cost that much because he's a saint and only charged us for the disposal costs. And so it cost about £50, and that was with a wee tip, which is amazing when you see how much rubbish he actually takes away.
He's an absolute star.
Yeah, so huge thank you again to Callum T over at Trash Converters. And if you are in Fife, please do go and use him.
We wouldn't be able to do this without you.
I know, you save us so much money and time. Like, we wouldn't if he hadn't been able to take that rubbish, I don't actually know how we could have done it,
it.
because there's no way we could have gone up and down in the elevator. Well, I know you couldn't have anyway.
No. I actually went down the stairs when we were very finished because it was her, Charlene, and the big trolley, and I was like, no, there's just too much weight. So I went down the stairs.
And she beat us. She got there first. I was like, how did you manage that? Did you jump down them? Anyway, we are at the end of the video, so I hope you're enjoying the before and after photos. Once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!